Custer's last plan. Fade in. Interior, Fort Russell. Commander's Quarters, day. Lieutenant Colonel George Armstrong Custer, 36. Vain, self-absorbed, flamboyant. Golden curls highlight a signature red necktie. His attire is selected to catch the eye in a crowd. Colonel Custer stands with military posture. His arms gesture wildly as he speaks with Army officers and the press. Indian Scout's bloody knife and Curley are by his side. The colonel speaks with rapid-fire delivery.
The Black Hills boomtown of Deadwood is offering $50 for every Indian head brought into town.
The entourage grunt and grumble with praise. A confident Calamity Jane, 21, enters the open door. A rifle hangs over her shoulder. Her hand rests on a holstered Colt. A bowie knife is sheathed in her sash. Tattered men's clothing cling to her tall frame. Colonel Custer turns his focus. An officer addresses her.
The stables are round back.
I'm CJ. I was sent by Vern Warner.
CJ? Well, you're a woman. Women aren't allowed in the Army. Leave the premises this minute.
Calamity Jane stands motionless.
This is not an invitation. It's a direct order. Get out.
Calamity Jane backs out the door as an angry Colonel Custer whispers to Curley. Curley leaves the room.
As I was saying, at 2 p.m. we'll practice drills for the benefit of the photographers.
The group disperses. Exterior, wilderness beyond Fort Abraham, day. A mounted Curley gallops through a dense forest. He observes broken branches, scuff marks in the dirt. He follows the tracks. Without a sound, Calamity Jane drops from a tree branch and lands behind Curley on his horse. She holds a knife to the throat of the scout.
You got a problem with me?
Colonel sent me.
I know who you are.
I'm not here to hurt you.
I can get $50 for your head in Deadwood.
Let me explain.
Start talking.
Exterior woods close to Fort Abraham, day. Calamity Jane braids a bullwhip. Curley watches from his horse. Colonel Custer arrives. He and Curley dismount their horses. Calamity Jane stands. Colonel Custer's face turns stern as he looks her over.
You're Calamity Jane, that outlaw woman from the papers.
I have broken a few laws.
I didn't get to be Brigadier General at 23 by staying within boundaries. As long as you're fast and accurate with information, I don't give a ding who you are or what you've done.
I can outrun a coyote and I'm fit as a fiddle.
You understand your job is to risk death every day?
That's how I keep my game, sir.
The Army has broken all agreements with the natives. Chief Sitting Bull refuses to sell. Our job is to either kill them all or round them up onto reservations before winter. My goal is the latter. No one wants a bloody massacre.
The Indians are agitated.
They are enraged.
They disperse mighty quick.
That is my gravest concern, that they will choose to flee rather than stand and fight.
The colonel takes a stick and draws in the dirt as he speaks.
We'll use a three-pronged attack. One column from the south, one from the east, one from the west. I'm sending you north to Montana. Your job is to pinpoint their locations, find out who they are, and how many. We need to know the terrain, elevation, vegetation, viewshed, and ground conditions.
Understood.
You'll report your findings to General Crook. He has over 2,500 men heading toward Rosebud River.
Yes, sir. General Crook.
For the record, you'll be an independent hired scout. You'll get regular pay and your name will be listed on the muster rolls as... What is your real name?
Martha Jane Canary, sir.
The official Army muster roll will list you as M. Cannery.
I'm mighty grateful, sir.
Do you have the hat?
Curley hands him an official Indian Scout black hat surrounded by hawk feathers with the top cut out. Colonel Custer dramatically hands it to Calamity.
This identifies you as an official Army scout. Stop by Supply to pick up a surplus uniform and hit the medic wagon for vaccination.
She puts on the scout hat.
I'm proud to serve you, Colonel.
Help me and I'll see you rewarded. When this is over, I plan to run for president. I intend to honor the agreements with the Indians, keep the white man off the sacred lands. This country will be revered for its promises it keeps, not the fleeting sparks of material riches it so deeply desires. To be known for standing on your word, that is wealth and honor beyond compare.
That's mighty honorable, sir.
Colonel Custer and Curley mount to leave.
I'm counting on you, CJ. Report back to me at Fort Abraham Lincoln.
He rides off. Calamity Jane calls out after him.
Thanks for winning the war, Colonel.
Colonel Custer lifts his hat but doesn't turn around. Exterior wilderness above Rosebud Valley, Montana, night. Calamity Jane, in army uniform and scout hat, ambles on horseback through the woods. She dismounts in a small clearing, lays down her bedroll, crawls in, falls asleep. Exterior wilderness above Rosebud Valley before dawn. Calamity Jane scouts the hills. She spots several Indian camps gathering and preparing for battle. She rides down into the valley. Exterior Rosebud Valley, day. Calamity Jane locates pompous General Crook, 35, grandly attired, lounging on a picnic blanket with over 1,000 men in the open grassland. She dismounts and hurriedly approaches General Crook.
I bring a red alert. You are seriously unprepared.
Are you a girl?
I'm a genuine U.S. Army Scout.
Care for smoked salmon?
He offers her a cracker.
My urgent orders to inform you are from Lieutenant Colonel Custer, sir.
Sit and relax. We're waiting for the rest of our column to catch up.
You need to gather your troops now.
There's plenty of time.
I've witnessed many warriors gathering over the ridge.
General Crook waves off the information as nonsense. He casually pours a glass of port.
Chief Crazy Horse is too shrewd to give us that kind of opportunity. He would never gather so many of his people in one place.
The war cries of 4,000 Indians interrupts. Chief Crazy Horse leads 1,500 storming warriors into Rosebud Valley. Another 2,500 Indian warriors wait on the ridge in reserve. General Crook and his men stumble over themselves. Calamity Jane mounts her horse. Men scramble into their boots. Calamity Jane rides Indian warrior style. Her horse is secured by one foot in a single stirrup. She hangs horizontally, firing from under the horse's neck. The horse's body is her shield. General Crook's late troops arrive. They hold off the attackers. The natives appear to retreat. A warrior races back to retrieve a wounded chief on the battlefield. As the warrior scoops him up and carries him to safety, Calamity Jane rides past. Their eyes meet. The warrior saving the chief is a woman. The daring rescue causes the Indians to rally. They turn with a counterattack. General Crook and his men are defeated, hands down. The Indians scatter to the hills victorious. Exterior Fort Abraham, Lincoln, guardhouse, day. Calamity Jane gallops up to the guardhouse, the entry point to the compound, surrounded by a wooden fence.
I need to speak with Lieutenant Colonel George Armstrong Custer right quick.
Brick building in back, the one with the green shutters.
He points to a building. Fort Abraham Lincoln is similar to a small village with telegraph office, post office, outpost, houses, officers' quarters, barracks, etc. Interior, Lieutenant Colonel Custer's quarters, day. Colonel Custer, attired in his customized, glittering military uniform, strikes a grand standing pose. He speaks with his entourage of photographers and press. He spots Calamity Jane in the doorway. She's in her uniform and scout hat.
Look who's here, gentlemen. I'd like to introduce my scout from the north, CJ.
I need to speak with you in private.
Nonsense. I hold no secrets from my senior officers or the press. I always face the music. To hell with the consequences.
General Crook has been forced to retreat at Rosebud Creek by Chief Crazy Horse.
The room buzzes with concern. Colonel Custer is composed.
That's not possible. Where was General Gibbons?
Delayed by the late spring snow.
What is the location of the encampment?
Little Bighorn River Valley.
How many natives?
Close to 10,000.
The room buzzes louder than before.
Well, we must act immediately before they scatter.
You might want to wait for the 7th Cavalry, Colonel. They're headed this way.
I'm not waiting for squat. If we act fast, there won't be any bloodshed.
Colonel Custer puts on his gloves and gets his hat.
We'll surprise them early in the morning, rob their women and children, and use as human shields. The Indians won't fire on their own kind. They'll surrender peacefully.
Chief Sitting Bull is in the valley with Crazy Horse.
Gentlemen of the press, get ready to record history. You're coming with me, CJ. I want a picture of us together, victorious, on the battlefield. I intend to court the women's vote.
You want a picture with me, sir?
Well, you're a woman, aren't you?
But having my picture taken with you, you're a hero.
Yes, and you will be too. Once I'm president, I'll tell people how bravely you served your country.
I'm not an outlaw, like the papers say.
The press serves a purpose, CJ. The press will get me elected, and at the same time show the public who Calamity Jane really is.
I'm much obliged, Colonel.
Time's a-wastin'.
Super, June 25th, 1876. Exterior, bluffs above Little Bighorn River Valley, before dawn. Colonel Custer, Calamity Jane, Bloody Knife, Curley, and General Reno, 30, wear buckskin. Their eyes are glued to the dark valley. Curls of smoke rise sporadically.
We'll split into 4 groups.
We should wait. Reinforcements should be here shortly, Colonel.
We can't wait. I'll head to the northeast with 200 soldiers. We'll cut off the escape route, corralling them to the river bottom.
It's too dangerous. We should wait for the others.
I can't take the chance of the Lakota and Cheyenne escaping into the wilderness. General Reno, give us a head start, then you attack from the south.
That's against orders, Colonel.
I give the orders here. Will and act until victory.
The troops mount and disperse. Exterior, Little Bighorn River Valley, dawn. Colonel Custer, his troops, Calamity Jane, enter the valley. Colonel Custer points to a spot on a hill to the right.
Photographers, set up your cameras where it's elevated.
The sun is rising. To the left, on a far distant hill, Chief Crazy Horse and Sitting Bull appear. They are in full warrior headdresses and war paint that resembles the American flag. Behind them, in a single line, are a small cluster of warriors, also in war paint.
Ha! Look yonder. They're coming to surrender.
Colonel Custer dismounts to greet the chiefs. Straight away, without warning, the chiefs are flanked by wings of warriors on the ridge. A bird's eye view shows an eagle formation. Chief Crazy Horse sounds the first war cry. 4,000 Indians thunder across the valley.
Shoot your horses! Stack up the carcasses! Make a barricade!
The soldiers dismount and do as they are commanded. The Indian warriors in front fire muskets. Those behind have wrapped their arrows with tall, dry grass. They light them on fire and send flights of blazing fire missiles at the troops. Calamity Jane remains mounted, fights Indian style. The troops are swiftly massacred. Calamity Jane spots the warrior woman from Rosebud. She gallops toward her as the warrior woman fires at Colonel Custer. He falls. The warrior woman shoots him again. Calamity Jane jumps from her horse, runs to his side. Indians run through the dead soldiers, stripping them for weapons and mutilating their bodies with tomahawks. The warrior woman is running toward Colonel Custer, her hatchet raised to strike. Calamity Jane throws herself over his body. The warrior woman passes them by. Colonel Custer is the only dead soldier not mutilated. Calamity Jane is the only visible survivor. Bloody and exhausted, she walks her horse to the river. Bending over, her hands cupped with water, she is attacked from behind by an Indian warrior with a tomahawk. The warrior grabs her hair, swinging his hatchet. She fights for survival, knocking him over as he whacks off a chunk of her hair. Her scalp is exposed. It streams blood. In a fight to the death, the two battle between strength and skill. Calamity Jane plunges her bowie knife through his eye. He falls, dead. She collapses beside him. Fade out.